Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, Reading Ideas. I've been tagged. I'm getting very behind on tags, so I apologise to people who've very kindly tagged me and I've not got around to them yet. And I've not been posting as much on the channel recently. I think one of my favourite writers, Hemingway, he once said, when it looked like he was doing nothing, it's when he was doing a lot of writing. And when he got his stuff published and everybody was saying, oh, you must be really busy and look at how productive you are, he was actually wandering around and just lapping it up. So I've not been posting because I've been writing myself. I'm up to 80,000 words of a load of gibberish. It's getting hard work manoeuvring around it now. So I've been busy, that's my excuse. So I have been very kindly tagged, and it's the Bookish Elements Tag that was created by Sarah at My Granny Era, and I was tagged very kindly by John at Must Read More, and he is correct. I really must read more. I think I was also tagged by Stuart at Stuart Griffin 1001. I think Gavin at Genre Reads, and maybe even Pat at Book Chat with Pat, if I remember rightly. I've definitely been tagged by them and I'm behind on tags. I'm going to have to go looking through. Okay, so thank you very much, John. And I'll take your advice and I'll try and read more. And okay, so the prompts from Sarah, don't forget, at My Granny Era. Number 1, how do you feel about foreshadowing or dropped hints? Yeah, sometimes if they kind of give the game away a little bit, you're kind of like, oh, I know what you're doing there. But I can get a little bit competitive. And the worst feeling is when you kind of go, oh, I missed that. They made it obvious and I missed it. You can get competitive, can't you? So yeah, there was one in Ubic recently, Philip K. Dick, and it was about people who are supposedly mind readers, and there was one bit of foreshadowing because I was getting annoyed that the mind readers weren't doing a lot of mind reading, and there was a little bit of kind of foreshadowing about a prediction. But Philip, I'm gonna have to read more before I kind of make my mind up, I think. So yeah, foreshadowing, it's a good tool of a writer when used well. 2, bookmarks. What do you use and how do you feel? Oh, that's a slightly I'll come on to the corners bit. So bookmarks, there's a local second-hand bookstall near me on the promenade at Morecambe, and he gives them out in the books when you buy them. So I'm tending to use those. I have used, train tickets, all pieces of newspaper, and I'm not. Some people collect them, and they become precious to them and want to use them all the time. I've never really bothered over, being fussy over bookmarks. It's the book is the thing that I'm interested in, and the bookmark, if it's of interest, would just get in the way of my book. Is the way that I look at it. So anything to hand. I have never felt the urge to bend down a corner of a book. I do get second-hand books and you occasionally come across it, and kind of like it makes me kind of think, is there something special about that page where they're trying to remember it, or was it just where they got up to? It is ooh, it's just an indication that you're a barbarian, isn't it, really? I don't know, it's kind of a strange, it's kind of a strange, I suppose people are kind of reading the story and it's the words that count. and it doesn't matter if the book gets kind of a bit damaged along the way. I don't know. There must be something there. I'm just reading, ploughing through, consuming it, and then, the book is the kind of physical book doesn't kind of matter so much. I don't know if that's conscious or unconscious, but that's what it makes me think to me. If someone's bending down the corner, which is obviously, only minor but slightly damaging the book, it's kind of like, oh, why would you do that? Excuse me. And by modern technology, I'm back. Forgotten bookmarks. Have you ever found something strange in a book? I can remember finding train tickets, chocolate bar wrappers. It tends to be of that kind of, elongated shape, doesn't it? Rectangular, oblongs. Do we still have oblongs? I think we do, don't we? Yeah. So I think I've had a few things, but nothing very, very strange comes to mind. Inscriptions and annotations. How do you feel about writing in a book? How do you annotate if you do? I've tried annotating a few times and I've never really done it successfully. I usually end up highlighting, too many things. I've tried reading a book to kind of, learn how a writer is writing, but then the best bits, it takes your mind away and you suddenly find, hang on, I've just read a page and a half. And that's the best bit of the writing. So, yeah, I'm planning on kind of going back over truly great books and kind of pulling them apart a little bit more, looking at how they're constructed. I might give my hand at trying annotating then. So I've never really done it successfully. So, but I've got certain books that are old, in great condition. I wouldn't write on those at all. I think they should be, kept how they are. Maybe write on the inside of the cover. You name the dates and stuff like that to kind of place yourself within the book. But apart from that, yeah, I've bought books that there's a bit of annotation in, but I like to kind of read it without looking at those. Maybe have a little flick afterwards and see what they've said, but I like to get my own impression of it first. Introductions and footnotes. Do you read them or avoid them? I've got an interesting little theory on these. What it seems to me is that the introductions and footnotes tend to be a lot bigger on very thin books. So you'll notice that if you get F. Scott Fitzgerald's Great Gatsby or Sun Tzu's Art of War, that you'll get, the publisher goes, oh my God, it's so thin, they're never going to buy that. Oh, get Billy from Oxford Uni, get him to write a few pages, about 40. So I've noticed that. It was a very thin book. Oh, there's a big introduction. Yeah. So if I'm reading a book for the first time, I don't like to read any of that. I want my own impression quite often. And then certain books like Sun Tzu's Art of War, which I've read a few times, I've read the footnotes and introductions, and occasionally they will be very good and you'll think, wow, that's really enlightened me. Other times I find them really annoying, just talking a load of gibberish, and that quite often they're very dated. These I don't know what it was like in the US, but in the UK, there was a big love of communism, in the 40s, 50s, 60s. So if you read anything, then you'd get a kind of a, this terrible communist. Oh, I know it's Sun Tzu's Art of War, but he's really talking about communism. Tolstoy said, it's like, shut up. Or you get a bit of a feminist bent or something. You just think, oh, no. And you'll have, as well, you might have, oh, I know you're reading about Sun Tzu's Art of War, but my book that I wrote, like, oh God. So, yeah, I don't like to read them before I've read the book for the first time. Most of the time I won't read them. When I do read them, they're often very annoying, and excellent ones are very few and far between, in my opinion. Accessories. Do you use bookish accessories like clip-on reading light, book sleeve, annotation materials, bookstand, etc.? No. Not at all. No. 7. Art and illustrations. How do cover art and illustrations affect your reading experience? Then, yeah, they can. I think they can really help with it. Really help you picture something. Particularly if it's science fiction. Lots of great covers with science fiction. Illustrations can, bring the book to life. Give you visions, things to kind of put it around, and they can be a bit of a distraction as well. Most books now, the cover, particularly now, the covers are not much to write home about, and in most novels there's not a lot of illustrations, so it's not so much of a big deal, but a good cover art really does help a book, I think. Format. Which format of books do you prefer? Hardback, paperback, audio, digital? I prefer a paperback. I prefer the size of it, the feel of it in your hand, and yeah, you just kind of feel that it's a more welcoming experience. Hardbacks, obviously a hardback, you're often faffing around with a cover, trying not to rip that. Audio, I've not really listened to any audio books in years. Perhaps I should get more into that. That's a good idea. And digital, hate it. Digital books. Not all technology is progress. Hate it. Do you do different things for different situations? I've got some hardbacks. Like I say, I should really do more audiobooks, I think. That's a good idea. But as I don't do digital, then not really. It's just, some books that, some of the old books that I've got that are in great condition, you're obviously taking a bit more care, and some more modern ones, you're not bothered so much about opening it up a little bit more. So, yes. Right, tag some people. Well, I think I might be a little bit late to this one, but thank you very, very much, John. Don't forget to check out his channel, Must Read More. And of course, Stuart and Gavin and Patton, all the gang. And I will tag some of the usual suspects. Bye for now, everybody.